Yeah, man, I want to get to I want to get back down to like 220.
220.
Yeah, I done got about 240.
I can tell.
Yeah, man.
It's like, no.
It's rough out here, man. But nevertheless, let's get to why you're here today. So, welcome, guys, to Tech Talk Tuesday. Today we got our George Wicks. George Wicks is a phenomenal person. George Wicks is very knowledgeable in the automotive industry, mechanic industry. George's been doing this for a few years now. He has multiple clients across different states, and I'm glad to have you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Glad to be here. And Arthur, you've been doing your thing as well. I've been following WGG pretty much since its inception.
All right.
And
Thank you.
I love to see the growth.
Appreciate that. So, my focus today is to get a real in-depth on your experience with your industry. So to start that off, I want you to tell me, when did you first get inspired to start your business that's in the automotive mechanic industry?
So I started my business right around the pandemic, around 2020. And that's when I branched off and started doing my own thing. I was working at a dealership for about 3 or 4 years before that, went to college for it, and I was in a program at high school. So I'm coming up on about 10 years doing automotive work.
Wow. Let's back that up a little bit. What classes did you take in college and high school to get you prepared for this?
So I went to Glen Park High School, and I was in the automotive program.
Okay.
And that basically started me with entry-level knowledge and maintenance of cars. Just teaching you the different parts, not really too in-depth, but it was definitely valuable. And then I went to Allegheny Community College, and I studied automotive technology there. And that's where things got pretty intense and in-depth. I learned everything about every system in a car: electrical, brakes, suspension. I painted a car, took transmissions out, rebuilt transmissions, rebuilt engines.
Wow, that's a lot of different stuff, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so and you was able to get this experience through school.
Yeah, so it started in high school, then to college. When I was in college, I started working at Passport Toyota, and I was there for a good amount of years. That's where I got a lot of my practical experience before I broke off and started doing my own thing.
Okay, so when you talk about Toyota, I know that usually has Toyota cars. Did you get a chance to work on any other cars during this pre-time before you actually got started with your business?
Yeah, a little bit. There would be an occasional used cars that come through. We'll get experience with those, and also before I started a business, like family and friends and stuff still wanted certain maintenance done to their vehicles, so I was still doing other repairs on the side. It just wasn't official business.
Okay, no, that's not a problem. Now let's get to when you actually started. When you actually started and looking at how things are now, what supplies and equipment do you have now compared to when you actually got started?
Now I would say I have a lot more specialty tools, a lot more tools to make one specific task really easy. And I think that's important, being mobile, because I don't really have the option to just be like, oh, I'm going to leave the car in the shop overnight and get back to it tomorrow. Things need to get finished tonight because I have work tomorrow.
Okay, yeah.
So having those specialized tools greatly benefited the company.
Okay, and these specialized tools, what kind of tools we talking? We talking like a advanced type of wrench, or what we saying right now?
We can say advanced wrenches. We could say just higher quality tools. It's levels to it. You got the standard tools you can just get at Walmart.
Well, break it down for us. The people want to know.
Okay, so when you start getting into tools and repair with my trade or any trade, that is levels to the tools that you can get.
Mm-hmm.
And the further along in my career, the better quality tools I wanted to get to invest more into myself. Cheaper tools, they break easy. They might not function as needed. So as my career has been progressing, I slowly started phasing out some of my cheaper tools and just opting for the more premium option.
Okay, so do you feel like the more premium option would gives you faster results?
Definitely. For example, one of our bigger purchases was a scan tool, and that scan tool allowed us to get into all the systems in a vehicle, pretty much. Unless you have like a Bugatti or something that's exotic, our scan tools allow us to get into all the systems, transmission computers, brake computers, because all of these are separate systems.
Okay. So do most cars use the scan or like can use the scan tool to
everything from 96 and above? There's one standardized port that connects. So from 96 and it hasn't changed.
Wow. Okay. So that made it made it easier for you?
Yeah, definitely. Made troubleshooting and diagnostic work a lot easier.
Okay. Now I hear you talking about, you gotta get the specialty tools so you can get the job done sooner, so you can get up to go to work tomorrow. Tell me, how do you balance the business time and your personal time? In the beginning.
In the beginning,
yeah,
I would say it was a unique situation because I started a business in like March or April of 2020, so there was nothing else really going on.
Yeah,
I was just studying at home and was doing the mobile repairs, so just going to people's house. Once things started picking back up, though, that's when it got a little bit more challenging. Leaving to do smoking Geos, that's when things got a little bit more interesting. I definitely had to use a planner and schedule out.
Okay.
Schedule out my.
I got one of those too. One of those too.
It's very important. That's something that you told me early, and I didn't listen. But it's very, very important having your schedule laid out for the week.
Yes, I think that's very important too. Honestly, when you have multiple jobs or multiple services that you got to do in a day, week, or a month, I think it's very important because, say that April 1, you get 30 new services that you need to provide to 30 clients. At that point, you need to be able to manage your time properly. So I'm glad you decided to take that step.
Yeah, exactly.
Good job, man.
Sir.
I want to shift the conversation a little bit to like documentation. So like in your business, I know you have expenses, like you just said, the scanner. What is your most expensive purchase in your business?
It would definitely be between that scanner and toolboxes. Toolboxes are expensive.
Okay, and that's because of the size.
The size, and you gotta think like maybe a drawer will have like 100 pounds worth of wrenches.
Are you serious?
So like if you were to just pull out one of your cabinet drawers in the house and sit on it, it's gonna break.
Okay.
But you can't do that. Like if you do that with a toolbox, it's not gonna break. Like everything is super rigid and industrial strength. All of those heavy steels and stuff are a little pricey.
So why was it important to have this?
Keep your tools organized.
Okay, you got so many, of course.
Yeah,
I get it.
Organized, accounting for your tools, and also just not misplacing tools.
Okay. Now, with all these tools, would you ever have anyone come in and assist you with like performing jobs?
Yes. So I have a partner, Smoke from Smoking Geos.
Oh, Smoke. Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Smoke.
Shout out to Smoke. And we work together. Certain big jobs, he'll come in and we'll tag team the job. Like we've pulled engines and transmissions in people's driveway, knocking these things out in like 1 or 2 days, like quick turnaround time. And having a partner is definitely beneficial to certain larger jobs.
Okay.
And
how so? Like, what advantages do you get from having a partner or just a contractor come in to assist you with your services?
The main advantage, I would say, I think you would assume it'll probably be speed, but it's really just having another brain there.
Okay.
So it could be something that that I get stuck on,
Mm.
and when he put his fresh eyes on it, that's not really a problem to him. Well, everything that we doing is problems.
Okay.
We're repairing something.
Yeah.
So something I might get stuck on, he might see it breeze right through it, and that's beneficial when it comes to like certain longer jobs or jobs that are a little more complex.
Mm.
So the one hold up, he might knock something out. He might get stuck on something. I'll be able to knock it out. So just having the two brains to like ping pong ideas off of was like invaluable to having another person with you.
Okay. Do you think that the services that you provide for your business, do you use that income to pay for your expenses, like your toolboxes and things like that?
Yeah, so starting at the dealership, I came with a lot of tools. So I didn't have a big expense up front when I opened it up of needing to purchase tools.
Okay.
It would just be like smaller things I would need here and there, or maybe when I'm doing a job, I need to go run and pick up one specific size, something, socket, wrench, or anything like that. So having those tools already, that was like helpful.
Okay. And then how would you document when you got new tools? Will you just throw them on a toolbox, or would you have a list of all your tools?
So we had an inventory list of
Okay.
like all of our tools on it, and usually it'll be probably about quarterly. We'll
Yeah.
just go through and reorganize our tools and everything, and just make sure that we're not missing something. A 10 millimeter socket, I don't know if you know, but those things just disappear.
They
They
disappear.
just disappear.
So the
You
use
just gotta get a new one every year.
so the useful life for those things is less than a year, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand. So with most of your expenses, are you not that one? What was the one you just named?
The tools?
The
That socket?
yeah,
That 10 mil.
that 10 mil. So you said you can lose that, and that
Yeah.
you can't pretty much have that next year. Are there other equipment that actually lasts like longer than a year or two?
Yeah, definitely.
Or they
Definitely
do?
the majority of the tools, honestly. I
Okay.
don't really misplace tools. We keep good account of our tools. That's the one thing we don't use. We have certain products that are like consumables,
Yeah.
like rags and stuff like that. Those are things that constantly need to get purchased, and those are that and gas is really like the bulk of our expenses.
Okay.
Paying for those like consumables, certain cleaners, greases, lubricants, those things usually like anything that comes in a can.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of things that we constantly need to restock.
Okay. Okay. Now I want to kind of tackle that a little bit on the accounting side.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at that, I'm like, okay, they're keeping track of inventory. So are they keeping track of what items are depreciable? Because most of the times when we buy equipment or tools, these items have a useful life. Useful life can be however long the useful life is.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess a tip for my viewers and you too is to look at the depreciation for your tools and your equipment, because that's something that you can essentially deduct for your business taxes.
Mm-hmm. Annually, that's important because coming up on 10 years of like experience, I'm looking at my tools like some of these are getting worn out.
Yeah.
Like I need to replace them.
Mm.
I was just thinking about that actually today.
So what do you find out where the new tools are? Like, is there like a blog? Instagram?
The Instagram, the internet, YouTube, Reels, stuff like that. Like I follow different mechanics.
Okay. Oh, so you know people in your industry?
Yes.
Okay. Well, like who? That may be notable to the viewers, or just someone that you may want to mention?
I don't know who the viewers might know. They probably know Smoke.
They probably know Smoke.
That's a reputable person in my industry.
Okay.
But other than that, just like certain YouTubers who I follow, if you know anything about cars, I'm pretty sure you've seen people like Chris Fix or Scotty Kilmer. These guys, they're the kind of people that teach you like maintenance, not really something specific on a specific repair. And then I follow other people on Instagram.
What gravitated you toward those people?
I like people that are very thorough.
Okay.
I would rather find someone who is thorough and does too many steps and lets me roll their certain things back versus someone who is showing how to Jimmy rig or finesse certain repairs or certain situations. because that's not what I like to carry my business on.
Mm-hmm.
I like to provide like dealership quality
Yeah.
repairs.
Yes.
And I bring them to you.
Okay.
So that's the main thing. I just like to follow people who I think that their work is reputable.
Okay. So when they post these videos and stuff, are you looking for if the video is a certain length, or you're looking for if the video just provide enough information for you to follow?
Just because I'm not in the content creating space, I really just look for the gems that they're talking about.
Okay.
Maybe a specific tool that they use to get out of a certain problem.
Okay.
Or a certain year, make, and model. This is a common issue. It's something to like put in my notebook, my mental notebook.
Yeah.
Not necessarily looking from the content creation side because I haven't really started like filming my repairs. That's something I'm not opposed to, but that's not really what we were into. I just follow these guys and get a lot of tips from them when it comes to doing repairs.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of times it's always good to have mentors in your industry or just people that like are been in it longer than you. Mm-hmm. So like even for me, I've looked at certain accountants and certain CPAs that have been in this industry for a long time, and I've been able to take that and put it into my own craft. I've even worked under CPA offices and learned from them and gained knowledge to again push out to our viewers, push out to my clients, and even people I meet on a day-to-day basis. So I'm glad that you're actually taking that step to even venture out and find information. Because when you hold yourself into a box, then you're not going to be able to expand. So you're definitely doing great, man. Definitely doing great. I want to acknowledge that for you.
Appreciate it.
So expenses. I know that you make money to spend money. Have you ever considered getting like a business loan for expenses?
Yes, we've considered getting a business loan. We actually took a different route for funding. We got into business credit.
Okay. And how has that experience been for you?
That was pretty good. It was pretty good. I always was a little bit apprehensive about getting a business loan just because in my field I feel like in smoking Geos, the only thing that would have been guaranteed is that loan that needs to get repaid.
Okay.
And sometimes in business it might not be the best idea to take on other people's money before you're ready. So that's one thing that I was like kind of cautious with.
Okay, and you're absolutely right about that. When you have an idea of something, if you're using someone else's funds, typically they want a plan of what you're going to do with those funds. Typically they want to know how soon you're going to pay that money back.
Exactly.
So I think having a good profit history, showing that you can make money can definitely help with things like that. Yeah, man. I have a guy on my team. He does a lot of business funding, and he'll be the first one to tell you that you definitely have to make sure that you have some profit coming in, or you have some history of some profit, and that will.
And knowing how to manage, like when you get large sums of money, knowing how to manage and invest in your company to get it back out, because it's not necessarily like a product that we provide, like a service where I could, let's say if it was a product, I could take in the loan and stock up on inventory and then push it out.
Yeah.
For me, I would more than likely have to spend that on advertising and tools. And then if I spend it on advertising, I also need to make sure that I can schedule all of these people and keep all of these customers that I've gotten from my promotion, from like the ads that I run.
Okay, so you wouldn't use the loan just for expenses. I mean, just for tools and equipment. You would use the loan for promotion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, why would that help for your industry?
Just to get more visibility, more customers.
Okay.
We live in an area where most people drive, most people have cars, some people have multiple cars.
Yeah.
So just being able to get that visibility so people can know that, hey, these guys, they do excellent repairs.
Yeah.
And they come to you. And word of mouth is definitely one of the best ways of like advertisement and promotion.
Mm.
But if you hear the word of mouth and it comes across your social media or TV, radio, it's almost a no-brainer that that's someone who you go with.
Absolutely. Most of my clients have been referrals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the promotion side of the business is important, but I do agree with you. Having someone having someone that you actually done a service for,
Mm-hmm.
and they get to tell the next person that I actually received a service from them, and it was a good job. Come on now,
Testimonials.
The testimonials. Yeah. Okay, you got a few of those?
Yeah, plenty.
Plenty.
Yeah.
Okay, he's being modest. He's being modest. All right, I want to kind of move on with your business journey. Let's go into the pandemic. So the pandemic is something that we were in, that we are currently in, and that was a part of your business history.
Mm-hmm.
So, touching on the pandemic, did the pandemic have a positive or negative effect on your business?
I say the pandemic had a positive.
Positive effect. Okay.
Yeah, it definitely had a positive effect. I know that some people experienced a lot of hardships.
Yeah, they sure did.
And, blessings out to those people and whatever situations that they went through. But on the other hand, starting my business in the pandemic was good because you had a lot of people that didn't want to leave the house. You had people that were getting disposable income.
Yeah.
And you had people that were still driving. So all of those things kind of played into like the right situation at the right time.
For you?
Yeah, for me. And Smoke, we were able to, like, everyone was home all the time.
Okay.
So scheduling people is something that we'll typically have to work out.
Mm.
Maybe I have something going on one day of the week and that's their only availability until 3, 4, 5 days later. That was usually never the case during the pandemic.
Okay.
If somebody needed work done,
yeah,
they called and they scheduled like the next day, and they had payment ready. And
so you were available as well as people needed your service?
Yeah, absolutely. Because
okay.
I left Toyota, and when I left Toyota, I was in school again.
Okay.
So I was in the house pretty much Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
Just studying, taking online classes. And that wasn't the plan. That's just how it worked out.
Okay. Man, that's good, man. A lot of people actually use the pandemic in their favor, and you were one of them.
Yeah, definitely. I think the pandemic was definitely beneficial to like my business.
So, I want to ask you, during the pandemic, how were you able to shift day-to-day operations for like social distancing? Understand everybody had to be at least 6 feet away from each other. Sometimes people may have a little further distance away from each other. How did that affect your day-to-day operations?
I mean, for me, that really wasn't too much of a concern. First, because we do pretty much a one-on-one service, maybe me and Smoke, and then the customer.
Mm.
We're outside, so you don't even have to come outside. We'd probably then talk to people through the door.
Okay.
They pass the keys outside. That was really not a hindrance, and that's also what was beneficial.
Okay.
Like, just people didn't want to leave the house.
Yeah.
They leaving and doing whatever, but they pull up to their house. We'll come, give us the keys. We'll grab your parts. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't, for a fee. But just have the parts, give us the keys, and you can stay as far as you want away.
So it sounds like you do a lot of traveling when it comes to your clients because you have to go to them from what you're saying, a lot of mobile. So do you keep track of like your miles that you're traveling to each client, or even like the gas you spend? Do you keep track of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I was using Everlance.
Okay.
And it's a bit of it can be a hassle. Sometimes you forget. But the one thing that I would say is important is creating like an SOP, like a standard operating procedure. So anytime I'm about to get out the car, I just know, check my phone and classify this ride as personal or business. It's like trying to go back and remember certain things and just going through and classifying each thing later, that's not really efficient.
Okay, I understand. See, I brought that up because when you keep track of that kind of stuff, the IRS and the federal government, which is the same, they allow you to have a mileage rate. So the mileage rate is essentially for every gallon that you use, they give you a deduction for each mile. So, but it's to a rate. So, say if you pay $3.20 for a gallon of gas, I believe now the mileage rate is about 0.62%.
Okay.
So that's about 62 cents per gallon.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, I just want to make you aware of that, and just to our viewers too, that oftentimes when you are traveling to your client and you have a service-based business, that you need to be keep track of the mileage, because again, this could be something that could be beneficial towards you at the end of the year.
Yes, documentation is key.
Well, why do you think that's so important?
It's so important. It makes everything easier. It makes forecasting your future expenses easier.
Mm-hmm.
It makes your interactions with your accountant easier.
Yeah,
Your accountant asks for certain things, and it's not, oh, let me check this and pull this up and check this notepad and get back to you. If you have all of that stuff situated on the app, pull it up, makes your accountant's job easier. If it makes your accountant's job easier, more than likely your tax bill will be lower. So it's no cons to over documenting when it comes to documenting your expenses, your income, mileage, all those things.
You're absolutely right. Dealing with clients like myself, when it's definitely a big difference from a client bringing you a bag of receipts rather than an actual profit and loss report. Those type of things are definitely beneficial towards, your bookkeeping on a month-to-month basis, and then preparing your business taxes as well. I want to ask you, when it comes to like some of those expenses that you document for your business, have you ever reached a time where you had to cut down on some expenses just so your business can stay afloat?
I haven't really got to that point yet.
So that's a no. You never. Okay.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's
And that could go for a lack of documentation. I could be cutting it close in certain areas, and I don't know. But that's why I say the documentation is so key, because I have had a loss year, and that could have been avoided if each quarter when I'm reviewing the books, I see that I'm spending a lot in X category.
Okay. So now, with you saying that, do you project your business? Like, do you look at how your business can get to the next level?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, and where do you see yourself? I mean, not where do you see yourself? Where do you see your business next level? Like, where's the next level for your business? Not like later, 20 years from now. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, what is the next level for your business? Like, Smoking Geos is here. How do you get to that next step?
Smoking Geos 2.0. The main thing that I would say is it's between two things, and we kind of doing some strategic planning right now, trying to figure out which one we want to accomplish first.
Okay.
It's either going to be 2 vans, like 2 dedicated work vehicles, fully loaded, or look at getting a shop.
A shop? Oh, so you want to transition from a mobile service to just being like stationary, brick and mortar type of?
Brick and mortar, but it's I want to allow people to come, and if there are other mechanics, and if they need a space, like someone maybe doing service or running a business like we do, mobile. It's certain jobs that you just need a lift for. Maybe like certain cars to pull the transmission or the engine. It has to come out the bottom. So you can't do that in a driveway. You can't lift the car up high enough to pull an engine out from the bottom. So it's certain jobs that you might need a lift for, and I want to be able to provide space for other people to come and maybe lease out a lift or rent it out on an hour or month-to-month basis.
Now, with you having the stationary location, would that allow your services to go by quicker, or you just provide more services?
I'll be able to provide more services.
Okay.
That's the main thing.
Okay. I understand that.
That's the main thing. It'll cut down on certain expenses, but it'll be a trade-off because I'll have rent. So
Now, I want to ask you, how has your industry progressed since you've been in it?
I would say, honestly, you kind of need to stay up to date with modern cars
Mm-hmm.
because one thing that I learned at Toyota, some of the older mechanics, the industry can move past them, and certain things that worked at one point in time don't work anymore.
Like what exactly?
Just maybe certain tricks that like an older mechanic when they were in my age working on a 92, 3 or 95 car,
Yeah.
you just can't do it on new cars. Like certain things like starter fluid,
Yeah.
like it's really no case to need that on like modern cars with all of the computers and different systems. So staying up to date with the computer systems, knowing the tech, knowing like the latest different kind of injection systems,
Yeah.
and the way that the engine is set up, you gotta know these things so you can troubleshoot because the system isn't the same. You can't troubleshoot a new system with your like old experience.
Okay. And you've seen this progression within the last year or a couple years, or how soon do like you see? Okay.
So.
Oh, go ahead. Okay.
No problem. I was gonna say so. Over time, maybe each 5 years or so,
every 5
you can
years.
see a big change in automotive technology.
Okay.
But on the day-to-day in business, I've seen the business slow down after the pandemic.
Mm.
And that might be to the current like financial situation across the nation. People are they don't have as much disposable income. And I noticed if there are certain periods of time where people will come in and they want to repair or they want maintenance.
Yeah.
And you say, oh yeah, it looks like you got a tag light out and your belt is getting old. There's certain points in time where people will say, go ahead. Like during the pandemic, heavy. If there was a recommendation like, oh yeah, this is about to go out, this is about to go out.
Yeah.
People were like, okay, no problem. Let's do that now. And now it's a little bit slower.
Okay.
People are a little bit more cautious with their spending. They want to do the main thing and the only thing that's causing the problem. So that's something that I've noticed on the business side of it.
Okay. Now, considering that, we talked about, moving from a mobile service to a stationary service and how the industry has progressed in your favor, what do you see your business in the next 5 years?
We'll still be doing repairs. There'll be new services added to our catalog.
What kind of services? Tell our viewers, this is a great opportunity to let them know.
Yeah, absolutely. If you need any kind of repairs or maintenance done to your vehicle, we pretty much can do everything. It's certain things that I don't really like to involve with, like exhaust work.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, tune-ups, engine repairs, transmission services, brake repairs, brake services, brake fluid changes, all of your fluids in the car. I can drain them, I can refill them, I can measure them. Computers can be recalibrated with the scan tool that we have. Some keys to most cars can be reprogrammed. I think probably like Audi, like some specific German cars, we might not be able to get into their systems, but we can reprogram keys. When it comes to custom things, we can do radio installs, light installs like LEDs, headlights, tail lights. Yep. I think I did some headlights for your car. We do a little bit of painting, did some painting.
Now, I don't want to cut you off, but it sounds like you do a lot of your services hands-on. Like it's a lot of things are ran through you. What procedures need to be in place for your business to run without you being there present?
That's one of the things that I'm trying to work on and work through right now because mechanics can get a bad reputation, and that can happen quickly, especially if you overcharge someone or you sell someone some work that they didn't necessarily need, and you made it seem like it was dire. So right now, just me and Smoke are trying to figure out the best way to incorporate other people and not tarnish our name. Because right now, people know that they can trust us. If we have recommendations, it's not excessive. It's things that are probably necessary to be done. So that's something that we still working through, trying to figure out how we can grow our business and train people on the certain morals and things that we look for and don't do.
I'm glad you said that, because my next question was going to be, when you bring someone on, what are you looking for in that contract or that employee? What type of skills and qualifications they need, so that you can feel as though that you're going to get the best quality service from them for your clients?
The main thing is just having someone that's thorough. Speed is not really important to me.
Okay.
I feel like that comes with time. I'd rather have someone that, if they do 5 jobs and they take an hour on a 45-minute job, each job, but when I go behind them, there's nothing wrong and everything is done to the T, then that's the kind of worker that I would prefer over someone who is just looking to do as many cars as they can or just get as many customers in and out.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to speak bad on any big chain businesses, but some big chain automotive businesses that you drive your car into and they drain the oil from the bottom and then you drive out, they don't have a good reputation because of the quality of work, the mechanics. People have been sold services and didn't get the product. I literally just had a customer like this weekend. They sold her some air filters and then her car was running funny. There was literally no air filter in the car.
Wow.
So it's certain things like that that's unacceptable, and that's something that I want to make sure that people or anybody that comes in to work with Smoke and Geos understand that anything is not going to be tolerated. We only are looking for the highest quality.
Right. I want to say that, and you're at this point right now, what keeps you going in your business? Like what gets George up today and say, I'm going to reach out to this client. I'm going to just do what I have to do to make sure that this business is going to, operate fully today. Like what is it? I want you to answer that.
Honestly, it might sound a little cliche, but I say a passion.
A passion?
A passion for what I do.
Okay.
Because cars is something that I was always into since like a kid.
Okay.
And once I started putting business with it, I just had to take it a little bit more serious. And I enjoy providing a product and hearing people, like when I tell my story, they want to invest in me, they want to use my services. And I think how strong I feel for my company and like the quality of work that we produce, that's what kind of keeps me going.
Okay.
Because I feel like I started something that can continue on like longer than me.
It sure can.
So I want to just do my part now while I can.
It sure can. It sure can. All right, I'm getting ready to let you go soon, but I do got one more question for you. Now this one is, if someone offered you an opportunity to expand your business, would you offer them equity or profit share?
That's a good question. If, like an investor or lender?
Exactly.
Okay.
They're offering you money, and again, there's a return. Now, that return, would you offer?
It depends on the investment. If it's a large enough investment, I would want to give you some equity in the company. And the reason that I say that is so you can feel invested into it yourself. Especially if we're turning out a better product after your investment, that'll probably make you more likely to put more money into the company.
Okay. Now, I want to challenge you on that, just on the fact that on the profit share side, if they essentially put the money up front, then they're investing into a service that you already provided. So giving them a portion of the money that they're putting up for the service could be beneficial. But I do understand the equity side because then it's more of a partnership. Now we're all in this together instead of just being a short-term deal.
But the only thing about the equity, depending on your investor, I want to know who my investor is because sometimes when companies get large, like once they reach a certain market cap or whatever, the investors will want a more controlling hand in the company, and they might want to dial back certain things to increase certain profit margins. And I don't want that to affect the morale of the company and the things that we have going. Like I was talking about the high quality of work that we do. That will be my only reservation about giving someone equity in the company is they would have that. They could have some
leverage.
Leverage. Deciding power in the decisions.
Okay. Well, Gio, I just want to say thank you for coming on to our show today, and we really appreciate you.
No problem. Thank you for having me, sir.
Absolutely.